Hey, how's it going, everybody? Charlie Wilson here, aka Sinister Charlie. Welcome back. Hey, more Gigguk. Surprised? I'm not. Yeah, we got Gigguk. This is another one I missed. This is about 4 months back. This is what happens when anime is real. I hope this isn't a tearjerker type thing. I gotta like that. I really hope this isn't some kind of tearjerker thing, because, yeah, you know me. I'm full of emotion. All right, yeah, let's get into it. I would assume this is some kind of tear jerky type thing. Hopefully not. All right, let's go.
What if anime was real?
Oh my god, I just wish it was true.
Shut the fuck
Or
It's rare nowadays that I ever go back to revisit an anime. Do you see how many?
yeah, or it
airing
could
every
be
season?
some
In
kind
this
of
day and age, I can barely keep up with what's coming out. You think I got time
you
to
know,
go back and watch shit like
weed
the
type,
hero is
you know,
overpowered but
thing.
overly cautious? Huh? Who's still watching this?
I don't know.
Who still thinks about this? We're all consuming so much media now.
Sorry to pause it so soon. But yeah, I saw a couple clips of Cautious here. It looked pretty funny.
That's even
That's
if you
it.
enjoyed a show, even if you found something good in the moment, you can't always predict when something will actually stick with you because we move on so fast. But there is a show that's been living rent-free in my mind and
What
refuses
is
to
it?
leave even years after it's aired now. A show so unique, so batshit insane, it explored a premise I've never seen in anime before and since. A show that seemingly everyone around me has already stopped talking about and moved on from. So, wanting to know why I couldn't do the
Hey,
show,
I'm with you,
I tried
buddy.
seeing if it was actually as good as I thought it was, and deserving to stick on in my memory. And upon my rare second viewing, I realized I was wrong. It was so much better.
What is it? Oh,
But I'm
I've
getting
heard
ahead
of it,
myself,
but
because first,
I don't know
it's
what it is.
sponsor time.
Oh,
This
boy.
video is brought to you by NeuroCloud.
Okay.
NeuroCloud is a brand new up
Sorry, I come on. We know how we do Gigguk. But yeah, go give Gigguk money.
today. Also, make sure to use the gift code on screen to get yourself some free exclusive
Get
benefits.
free
Thank you very much to
things.
NeuroCloud for sponsoring me today. Back to the video.
I don't know what that is.
What would the world be like if fiction
Ooh, new type.
became
I
reality?
used to get new type when it was in America. I don't know if it is anymore.
This is a question Sota unexpectedly has to deal with when one day he gets transported right into an anime that he's watching. But wait,
Oh,
wait,
God.
hold on,
Come
hold
on.
on. He
It's
gets
isekai.
transported back and finds out that the anime characters have come with him. Suddenly, characters from all sorts of anime, games, manga, genres start appearing in the real
Okay,
world. And
this is
start duking
isekai.
it out.
Shut
It's
up.
an all-out brawl. The fantasy knight starts flying around in our reality.
We all know how I
It's
feel
made
about
someone's day of
isekai.
Babylon, except it's got bloody rocket launchers. Fucking magical girl appears. How cool is this concept? Now I know what you're thinking. Gigguk talking about another isekai.
Yeah, that's what I did say.
But actually, no. Look, yes, we can keep up the
Whatever.
name and call this an isekai, but the premise and appeal is not even.
Don't try to pull the wool over my eyes, Gigguk. Or Garnt, as you might say. Somebody just told me his real name, so I didn't know his name was Garnt.
in the same galaxy as your standard isekai. So no, I don't like this.
Thank
because
you,
it's an
YouTube comments.
isekai. I like it because it's fate. One thing I absolutely love in any medium is seeing elements that don't traditionally exist together clash with each other in a story. Like that was the biggest reason I initially started to get invested in the MCU in the first place. Growing up, I was never massive into superhero movies. And when Phase 1 first released, that's mostly how I felt. Then, Avengers came out and I was like, wait, I get to see a billionaire engineer fight a Nordic god and a super soldier in the mix?
Now you have my attention.
Hulk starts wrecking shit. Aliens blow up New York and Hulk
Sorry to pause it again. I don't know why I keep saying I'm sorry. But, yeah, I think the last Marvel movie I saw was Iron Man 2. So I'm not really into Marvel, especially these days. Anyway, continue.
Hawkeye's like, guys, I have a bow and arrow. Then, slowly.
He's pretty good with a
the
gun
world
from what I
changes.
hear.
Governments have to acknowledge the threat of alien invasions. Space travel gets introduced as a normal thing. Doctor
Inside.
Strange comes out. Great. I guess we have wizards now, too. Black Panther. Okay, now there's a secret advanced civilization. Thanos invades, and Hawkeye's still like, guys, I still got my bow and arrow. Thanos, you better watch out. I'm gonna shoot you with this arrow. It's a really sharp arrow. Pew, pew. Magic, space, technology, gods,
Yeah,
super
okay.
soldiers. You have all these elements, all coexisting, all coming to head in the same universe. Not as a gimmick, but building off each other for a grander plot. And this is the basis of why I love Recreators so much. This is what happens when you take every cliche genre in anime.
I
and
get what you're
crash
getting
them
at,
into each other.
Gigguk,
Take a
but
look at the scene. We start off with the magical
on.
girl, and definitely not Saber arguing ethics with the equivalent of a scheming yandere Izaya from Durarara. That's going about as well as you imagined. Then, Superior Asuna and a Final Fantasy mage jump in. Negotiations have broken down. Not Saber uses her noble phantasm.
I'm still not sold, sir.
Her and Superior Asuna go at it.
No
Suddenly,
offense.
a Guilty Gear character casually walks in. He doesn't have magic. He's got a fucking gun.
I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
Magic
Started
versus
blasting.
guns. What wins? Guns. What beats guns? JoJo stands. A Persona character with a JoJo stand joins the fray and battles by sucking. Using his stand.
Well,
Seeing
I'd have
this
watched
violence,
that.
The magical girl just wants everyone to
I'd
get
have
along
watched
and decides
that.
to join in to try and stop the fighting with the power of friendship and more violence. It's carnage.
Yeah, okay.
It's mayhem. And just as you think it can't get any crazier, a giant mech just drops in and. What is happening? You have a Fate character fighting a fantasy character, fighting a Guilty Gear character, fighting a Persona character, fighting a magical girl, and in the middle of this, there's just a Monogatari villain causing complete chaos. Seeing havoc like this unfold is some of the most fun I've ever had as an anime fan, because if you're a weeb who's watched shows with the characters like this in them, how the hell does this not put a smile in your face?
I don't
This is
know,
a show
dude.
that rewards those who are familiar with the
I don't
tropes
know,
of anime
man.
by taking the cliches you know and flipping them into unfamiliar territory.
It's a little too
So
weeby
you
for
may be
me, I'm
wondering,
gonna be honest.
why the hell did everyone else forget about this show? That's what I want to fucking know. The most common complaint I see about the show is that it's just bogged down with too much dialogue because, oh lord, there's a lot of it. The first two episodes open up with a bang. You got giant robots, you got explosions, you got this badass girl playing a gun with a sword like a violin to control other
Yeah,
swords.
that
And
looks
you're
pretty
like,
cool.
Oh god, I'm so ready. This is gonna be awesome. Then the next few episodes hits and it's like,
それは私にとってとても重要なことだ。
Can we get back to the sword lady fighting the giant Gundam again, please? The first time I watched this, I came in with the expectations that this was just going to be a dumb, fun action romp with anime from every genre. So when there were several episode stints of nothing but just talking, I would honestly just half zone out, waiting for the next action scene. But on my second viewing, because I knew when the action was coming, because I wasn't just anticipating the next big fight scene, I had the chance to actually fully immerse myself to what they were talking about. and I
You
thought,
still haven't
"Damn,
sold me, dude.
this is actually interesting as hell. Recreators doesn't just settle with presenting this wacky concept of, hey guys, what if anime was real? But put serious thought into what
I'm gonna
would
be
actually
honest with you.
exist if
It's kinda what it
fantasy
looks
fiction
like.
could break the barrier to our world. From the biggest effects to the smallest details. Characters that get transported here end up having some sort of sensory overload when they come to our world. The air feels different, the food tastes more flavorful, colors are brighter. What they experience in their world is only dependent on how much detail their author puts into their work. How descriptive was the orange juice they drank? Did the author deem it necessary to add coffee to their world building? But here, taste, smell, sight, a whole world of sensations they've never experienced is now at their fingertips. And I just thought
Okay.
this was a cool little detail I never would have thought about. But on top of this, Recreators builds on its concept to explore so many interesting ideas, like what if these creations could actually meet their creators? We've seen this before with gimmicky fourth wall breaks, but to fictional characters, meeting your author is essentially meeting your god. The person responsible for all the bad things, all the natural disasters, all Fortnite dancers to ever exist. How would that make you feel? Would you be happy, in awe, angry, knowing they allowed Sasuke to do this? How would you feel if your god didn't even care about their own story and only did it for money? How would you feel if your god was a pervert and you were only created as an object of sexual desire? How would you feel if you met your god only to find out they were a devil, knowing that you were a character in a tragedy? Seeing these creations cope with the fact that their god was not a god, but
I
in
get
fact
it.
so disappointingly mortal, and their entire lives were just stories played out for entertainment, was an aspect that added so many fascinating angles. Every creation shares a different dynamic with their creator. Some came to resent their creators, some formed a pseudo-parent-child bond, some just chose to ignore it and take a deep puff of some of that good copium. And this took the archetypes these characters were based on in so many interesting directions. Take Mamika, the magical girl. Right in episode 2, we find out magical girls are packing some heat. Her family-friendly magic starts fucking shit up. Buildings are erupting. There are explosions everywhere. She almost kills a guy. People are fucked. Then afterwards, she looks around and is like, oh my god, who did this? You did this. You caused all this collateral damage.
You did it.
What the fuck is collateral damage? She comes from a children's show where there is no violence and every problem is solved by the power of friendship. So when she finds out she can cause serious harm and not all conflicts can be solved by telling people to get along, she's just like, eh? This is a character that's completely out of her depth, but through these interactions, she starts to learn a new worldview. She changes her perspective, changes her approach, realizes the world
Maybe
is more
you were the
complicated
bad
than it is in
guy
a
all
children's
along.
cartoon, and eventually starts taking actions in a way her original archetype never would have, while still remaining the same core character of wanting to save the people around her. This is something that rings true for every creation we see in the show. Alistaria, a righteous fantasy knight, understanding a world
I think you're looking too deep into it there, Gigguk, but yeah, I guess. I haven't seen it, so yeah, what would I know?
where justice isn't just
Still not
black
into
or
it.
white.
It's not my
Blitz,
thing.
a character who has to come to terms that he was created for the sole purpose of suffering. Celestia, Kanya, Yuya, Magane, character archetypes
so kinda like
recognized
Guts.
are forced into situations we would never usually see them in. And because of that, they can slowly change into far more interesting characters than they ever would have got the chance to in their original stories. It's shit like this that had me hooked the entire run, where most shows would take this premise and go, anime characters in real life, duh. Recreator sits down and goes, okay.
I kinda
what if
would've
one
liked that a
person
little
was
bit
like
better.
this, or that character was like that.
Maybe you
How
could
would
do
they
it like
react?
One Punch
How
Man.
does that change the dynamic? And that spawns another idea, then another. The show is bursting with so many unique concepts that takes advantage of its insane premise. The action can be high-octane, turbo-fisto fun, but at the same time, it's a series that's not afraid to just sit down and spend some time chilling with the characters just struggling to live in the world. Does this make up for all the excessive dialogue? No. Even with all this interesting stuff, there's so much of what I like to call anime bullshittery. Characters will just pull a 5-minute exposition dump on why other people are being transported to the real world. How do we fix this? Why the world is coming to a fucking end. And I hate to do this, but girl, this is kind of on you. Half the time when the plot doesn't know where to go, our lovely mage Meteora will suddenly get a bright idea and be like, guys, I have a theory. Go on. That is a fascinating theory. Do you have any sources?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
The show spends so much time and makes up so much bullshit trying to explain its own mechanics, and while some of
Get
it is
some,
cool, a lot of it really did not
Got
need
some
to be that
Undertale music in there.
complicated. Recreators, looking at you, nobody gives a rat's ass of your PhD level of bullshit you used to explain why anime characters are here and why the world is coming to an end. If you needed to add stakes, you have an OP villain who hates the world. Just give a time limit before her power becomes fully active or some shit. Come on. Look, we're not here for this.
もちろんその通り。私たちは今まで
Well, there's no
We're here for
subtitles, so
this.
so I don't know. I'm joking.
There are some other things as well, like Magane's power makes no sense and is just broken in every way. The final conclusion takes so much suspension of disbelief and it's just anime bullshittery shot up into the fucking stratosphere. But
Yeah, I probably
honestly,
wouldn't like that.
I don't really mind. The more
Oh, I
time
wouldn't
passes,
like it,
the
but,
more I've just appreciated what this series tried to do. And watching it again made me rethink some of the things I thought I hated about it. I remember the first time I watched this, I absolutely despised Sota. Sota is a shriveled scrotum of a protagonist. Early on, we find out that he knows the origin of the villain everyone's trying to find out about, and he just does
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell anyone,
Nothing.
doesn't do anything. The plot goes on standstill just for him. And I remember the first time I watched this, I was fuming, livid that this Shinji ass motherfucker was
Yeah,
taking up
that's what it
fucking
reminded
screen
me
time
of.
when I could be watching
That's what that
a
reminds me
solo
of.
fist a fucking flying knight. But then you find out the reason for it, and I was like, oh, I think I get it now. Sota isn't a hero like the characters he's standing next to. He's just a normal dude who likes anime. Shy, socially awkward, living with his own trauma, afraid to
Nerd.
face the problems in his life head on. Frustratingly afraid to take action, but frustratingly real. He's someone who needs the heroes you see in anime to give him something to aspire to be. And that's when I realized that Recreators is a story about stories. Why is it that fiction exists?
Okay.
Why do we need heroes, villains? Why do our stories require conflicts for our characters to overcome to be interesting? This is something that all the creations in the show have to come to terms with in their own way. Would Guts from Berserk be able to accept what's happened, knowing his
Hey, I just said
perseverance
that.
inspired thousands to push through their own struggles? Would Olga from Kurino react well, knowing that
I
she
don't know
helped?
what that is.
Never mind. I love stories.
Inside
I love
joke I don't
stories
get.
so much I found a career talking about how much I love stories. And
That's
when I saw this
true.
series exploring the importance of fiction in our lives, I didn't just appreciate the very original way it went about it, but I also appreciated just how personal it felt to me. And then the show ended on a 4-episode balls to the wall action free-for-all, and I was happy again. Recreators is a fan fiction for anyone who's ever created something, a celebration of anime and the culture behind it, a look into the
guess.
dangers of online toxicity, a boatload of fun, and a
come
love
on.
letter to stories themselves. Can it be a little messy? Yeah. Is the dialogue a little bloated? Yeah. Is the pacing a bit off? Yeah. But now I've just come to value something that so specifically speaks to my tastes, even if the execution isn't perfect. A 7 or 8 out of 10 show that appeals to me is, in my opinion, more important than a perfectly crafted 10 out of 10 classic that doesn't. And that's why I'll always choose something like Tales of Arise over The Last of Us, Scott Pilgrim over The Godfather. That's why I'm so addicted to
what?
tension, even though
Wait
I
a minute.
know I could clown on.
Did you say Scott Pilgrim over The Godfather? No. That's ridiculous. Knock it off. I would smack you in the face if you said that to me.
This game for fucking days. A show like this was never going to be super popular or go down as a critically
That doesn't even
acclaimed
require
classic.
me to
It's
even
a
go into
series brimming
detail.
with so many interesting
Shut
ideas,
up.
so many original concepts, so many fun moments that never fail to put a smile on my face, and a core that speaks to my love
Scott
of
Pilgrim
fiction.
is garbage.
There is no other anime like
I'll die on
Recreators.
that hill.
Nothing else I can recommend to you. This was a batshit crazy idea for a show, and somehow someone was equally batshit crazy enough to approve it. Give me a choice of a popular, highly acclaimed anime like Jujutsu Kaisen or Recreators, and I choose Recreators every time. We've seen variations.
I haven't
of the
seen
show
either of
before.
them, so I
They
can't
were
really
called
say.
Bleach or Yu Yu Hakusho, and no, I'm not calling them the same show, but you know what I mean. Fuck, just look at the beginning of Chainsaw Man right now and tell me the premise and plot structure isn't almost identical.
I don't know,
Gonna
I
be more
haven't seen
Jujutsu Kaisens in the future.
Jujutsu
There's gonna be
Kaisen.
more My Hero Academias in the future. There's gonna be more Narutos in the future.
Oh,
But
God,
there's
I hope
only
not.
ever been one Recreators.
Eh. Oh, the audio got kind of weird there. I'm guessing that's for copyright reasons, possibly. Gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna go ahead and pass Gigguk. I just, I can't do the isekai. It's not my thing. I apologize. It's just not my thing. So there you go, Gigguk. When anime is real. Okay, all right. I think like I said, I'll pass. It's just not my thing. If you're into it, that's cool. Yeah, all right. There you go. I don't really have anything more to say about that than that. But that Scott Pilgrim thing, come on. I saw Scott Pilgrim once, and I've seen The Godfather once. I think I'll go with The Godfather. Did fall asleep during The Godfather the first time. Yeah. So, I don't remember much. Maybe it is. I don't know. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Any suggestions you might have, please put them down below.